Welcome back to the DreamHack Pro Circuit, where your reigning world champions Cloud9 did manage to find a way to eke themselves on to day number 3, but it was a very tense series and a bit of a slower start than maybe they would have liked. I am Wade Dreadnought Penfold, and as always here at the desk, I got myself some of the best and brightest mind within Rocket League to break down the action this weekend. Gibbs and Cheese, guys, what were your thoughts there coming out from Cloud9?
I felt like Cloud9 on this entire day, not looking the best, but they survive. And that's why Cloud9 is one of the best teams, and that's why they can always finish top 4. It's because even when they're not playing at their best, they're still one of the best teams in the world.
And that's the crazy thing about it. I don't know how, but it always works, and that's what matters. As long as it works, cool.
And it's a clean slate tomorrow. Clean slate for all these teams. Like, sure, Savage beat Cloud9, but
who cares as long as you make day 3?
Yeah, and it's just one best of 5 and then go into the semis for best of 7, so it doesn't matter.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at all the action here, not just what's been happening on with Cloud9 as we take a look at that. I think one of the biggest things we got to point out, the top of Group A there, yes, they are paired with Dignitas, but it is Savage.
Yes, but look on the other side. Group B has begun, and Echo Zulu swept Evil Geniuses. And I don't want to say I called it about being a groundhog, Evil Geniuses, but you started looking all big and mighty, beating TSM, and then you saw your shadow, and you get 3-0'd by Echo Zulu. We will see them later, but first we're getting G2 versus NRG. It's going to be a good one. Yeah,
Echo Zulu was able to get upsets against other rosters as well, but it is a wild one there. But as you said, NRG versus G2. This is a long-standing, and maybe not rivalry, but at least one of the best of North America. We've seen them go head-to-head multiple times here, and it is going to be awesome. Are there anything that you guys want to point out here right out the gates when looking at this matchup?
So obviously this is the second time that this roster will have ever met with this version on a live event environment. Like, sure, they've probably scrimmed against each other, but the last time we saw these guys play, of course, was WSOE, and that is always a great series. I don't remember if I've ever seen NRG versus G2 be a bad matchup, and it was good that even with Chicago, it was still back and forth all the way. NRG pulled away a little bit later in the series, but what I thought about that series, it was all Fireburner and Garrett G getting the job done. Justin was held fairly quiet during that series, but despite that, still came out on top.
But one thing that's great for G2 is, like, they're still working out this roster, and they're probably going to improve more than NRG's improving because they've played together for so long. So G2, like over this past month or so, are probably still improving every day with Chicago. So we'll see where they stand now.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and take a closer look here at G2 as they make their way to the stage. We are yet to actually get a formal glance at them on this stream, so it is going to be very, very exciting, again, to see what they have unfolding.
And they had a battle versus Ghost. They were down 2-1 in the series and battled back to beat Ghost Game and to get here, to get on stage. G2 knows how to play on stage. The last time we saw them, like, at the World Championship way back was, like, they started losing Game 5s, but that's not usually the case. The clutch masters with JNaps and Rizzo, they know how to win really close series, and when you're playing against NRG, you expect it to go to 5.
And I love the offense of G2 with Chicago. It's just opened all the doors, because Rizzo, he's getting involved in the offense a lot more now, and you see it really be a 3-man effort. No longer do we, I don't think we get to say knapsack anymore, because it's not.
It's all definitely not, but one thing I heard from Rizzo in comms, like back at WSOE, was we don't care if we have boost, just go for every single ball. Just pressure all the time. And guess what? When Tainted Minds and Chiefs play NRG, that's all they do. They just pressure the ball, and NRG has to fall on their back foot, and they look to kind of struggle, so G2 can pull it off.
But that's funny, because if that's the approach, you saw the exact same thing happen with NRG and G2. They pulled away later on in the series. The same thing happened to WSOE. The same thing happened here with Tainted Minds, so it doesn't work,
It's basically like a glass cannon. Like, it works until it doesn't. When there's one mistake, then it all falls apart. We'll see what NRG we see today. We didn't see them that much versus Tainted Minds. They came back with the reverse sweep, but they didn't look so strong.
Guys, I didn't know Fireburner got that old, or that young. Like, he's pulling a Benjamin Button right here, pulling it backwards.
They received Garrett G, considered the best in North America. He said he didn't have a great day 1, and his teammates had to carry him, but that's why NRG is so great.
That is fair. I can understand why they didn't feel like they had a great day 1. They did have a rough series versus Tainted Minds. It was a very slow start, and you definitely do not have time to have a slow start, I think, versus G2, because like you said, G2 just coming off a tough game versus Ghost. G2 were raring to go. They had to play a tough one. Who did NRG play for this round 1? Like,
they played, who was it? Mindset. They played Mindset. So again, it's a very similar situation to day 1 where they felt like they didn't warm up as much.
Mindset, solid team, obviously. Again, it's like that X-Clappers roster plus Astral instead of Patrick. So clearly, Ocelon and that crew, not bad, but are they on the same level as G2? I don't know. I don't think you don't have time to get in gear, though. You got to start strong if you're NRG.
Guys, with this one, I want to start the predictions, but I'll give you at least 1 to 2 sentences to be able to defend your standpoint over this one, because I think it is a very tense one. So we will start here with the Chiefs. Do you think it is going to be NRG or, in fact, G2?
Yes. NRG is the team I think can win, and I think they go through no problem because they've already beat them once.
Yeah, but it was 5 games.
Sure
it was. But they win.
I'm going to go G2 here. I think they can pull it off. I think that high-pressure game will work versus NRG. And once again, NRG feels like if they don't play the toughest opponents, they don't really rev up the engines too much. So if G2 gets out early, I think they can pull it off. I think they can't be too aggressive. Because if they're too aggressive and just allow
he said
NRG...
2 sentences, Gibbs.
No. I'm speaking
He's stealing
here.
from yours, all right?
I just don't want G2 to lose, all right? So I'm trying to give him some coaching tips here. But G2, just don't be too ham on it. Like, don't give up a boost grab because you want to keep the pressure up.
Yeah.
Because NRG will beat you. So we'll see, but I got G2 because I think Chicago is getting better and better with this squad.
I think that is very, very fair. And actually, that is going to be the breaking point for my vote as well. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a Chicago fanboy. His play style, his growth has been insane. And this roster's development because of that has been very, very impressive to fill the shoes of Kernovi here. But I'm excited to see what we have. Getting things underway. We're going to go ahead and bring in our commentary team for this fantastic series. It is going to be none other there than Johnny Boy once again with Shogun. Guys, what are your thoughts here about this matchup?
I think it's been absolutely phenomenal. But I do want to actually put out here that Dreadnought is not lying here when he's talking about him being a Chicago fanboy. There was 2 opening sentences. There was, hi, I'm Dreadnought. And immediately after that was, so Chicago, though.
Yeah. Let me tell you about my boy Chicago.
Yeah, I can't disagree. G2, I'm super hyped to see them because this is the first time that we're going to see them on stage. But I think that might be the key here. NRG have played on the stage before. I mean, we saw how big of an improvement Savage made on their second time to the stage. Will NRG replicate?
That's great points, guys. Go ahead and take it away.
So it's an all North American clash here on the stage between NRG and G2. One of the matches that I think we've seen, this might be the most played matchup between orgs in Rocket League history. I can't think of anything that would even come close.
Well, with both of the teams being so successful historically in North America and the fact that they've been around for so long, not surprised to see them playing again today. These guys know each other very well. But who's going to come out on top? They've not really seen much of G2. Been hearing that they're playing reasonably well on the backstage section, but it's really not the same as on stage. There's been a few teams who have looked really quite shaky off stage, and they play great as soon as they get up here, like Vitality yesterday. And there's others who look a bit shaky off, and then, or rather, who look great off stage. They come on and they just aren't able to replicate that performance.
It looks like they're just about ready to go. G2, last season's finalist before being knocked out by PSG. Can they go one step further this season? Well, they're going to have to try and start off well here, and that is already just head straight towards their net. They'll be very happy to try and get that one away.
Looking at Garrett right now, because he said he felt pretty sluggish yesterday. Of course, NRG are going to need him playing at his best if they're going to take down G2. We got past Tainted Minds in a very close fought 5-game series. On the back of Justin, Garrett and Fireburner need to step up.
Justin having a phenomenal rookie season and a rookie year for himself. RCS finals, as well as a host of other accolades. He's going to be dropping down. He's going to be now on the ball. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do. Tried to force the challenge, was unable to quite do so.
Yeah, he just flipped the wrong way there, got the ball off the front of his car as he was spinning into it. Chicago getting a set up from Garrett, in fact, but it was an attempted back pass, and it did go barely close enough to the defender. Super fast counterplay from our NRG here. They've gone end to end and is saved by the crossbar, and now JNaps going to keep G2 in it. NRG are looking a lot more sharp out the gate than they did yesterday. Another save on the goal line by G2, but they're all over the place. Everybody trying to clear it in different directions here. Rebound, again saved. 3 saves, crucially, by G2.
And it's not over yet either. Justin can come forward. And finally, they smash through the G2 defense.
That's just relentless by G2. And how about that for a pass from Fireburner? He's managed to fake a shot while doing it. Gets the defender to come forward, but Justin is off to his left. And eventually, G2 caved under the pressure. It just took that one misplay where the 2 players went for the same ball and ended up hitting it straight into their own ceiling above the goal.
And what I do love from NRG there is that they didn't get frustrated. They understood that, yeah, okay, these haven't gone in. They probably should have gone in. But that's the opportunity gone now. We need to now step back a little bit and reset up for our new opportunity. That's exactly what they did. And with that extra space, they went and found Justin for the goal. That's what you need to do. We've seen so many teams this weekend get a little bit too ahead of themselves, and Garrett G is getting ahead of everybody on G2.
Fireburner just swept out the G2 defense here. Just ran across the line, and not only that, but he's cleared out the path for Garrett by removing the challenging player from the equation. That gave Garrett G the required time to get up and find the back of the net. 2 goals up. NRG are looking like some of the best we've seen on stage. Not just from them, but any team here at this event. You know, they're making these saves look pretty comfortable on everything that G2 is trying so far. Garrett G, no way, double touch off the floor, but the initial play there was very tricky to defend.
NRG just looking so solid overall. Just taking their time. They don't look like they're panicking, but they've still got a level of pace to them. Now at G2 with their first bit of offense pretty much the entire game, and they're gonna have to try and sustain it here because NRG have got quite a few players forward. Justin will be by himself. It's a decent clear, but it's to the wall. Often when you do clear towards the wall, it's going to be picked up by your opposing team if they are positioned correctly. That is just about kept out by Garrett.
Yeah, G2 are starting to get a little bit better now at creating these chances. It's Chicago to the crossbar. Rizzo beats 2. JNaps has no shooting angle. The wall was completely in his way there. NRG had a bit of a scare, but they're still in the lead. G2 yet to score.
But G2 still on the offense. Garrett tries to get it out. JNaps does take a challenge, and that should be good enough for NRG to maybe get rid of it, but Chicago keeps the pressure on. Rizzo drops it down, and that is Garrett G just holding the line for NRG, and they will stay 2-0.
Garrett actually left that for Fireburner. I thought he was going to keep going himself there, but good team play by NRG. They're not double committing at all right now, all over the field. Good communication. We've got a minute and 30 for G2 to try and come back. That's a fantastic pass by Rizzo, but he couldn't catch up to the return pass. Chicago, another opportunity, but Fireburner takes it under control. That's good composure by Fireburner.
It's getting to the point now for G2 where you go from, okay, it's a good job that you're creating so many opportunities, to why are some of these not being a little bit more dangerous? And this could end up being 3. JNaps and the rest of G2 have got very little time to try and find a way back into this game. And with Fireburner taking out Rizzo, that rotation is going to be even slower for G2. They've got to give up on this. And it's time wasted that they really needed to keep.
Justin beats JNaps with the ceiling bounce read. Luckily, JNaps had backup, or else G2 might have been in trouble. Still 2 goals up. It was such a strong start for NRG rather. Things have evened out since then. Flip reset for JNaps. Couldn't really get on the right side of the ball to utilize it though. Now Justin is going to get goal side of this shot. 30 seconds, G2 just can't find a way past at the moment.
Offside, JNaps goes infield, laid off the shot, Chicago hits the post. And it's another great opportunity for G2 that needed a better strike to finish it off. NRG starting off this game very solidly, but G2 will be looking at his scoring and saying, man, that 0 should definitely at least have 1 on it.
Oh yeah, they certainly should have put one of these shots on target. They have not really tested NRG's goalkeeping skills. There was one save by Garrett that I remember, but most of the other stops were made by the crossbar or the posts off NRG's goal. That is going to give the first game victory to the current North American #1 team in most people's eyes. It just fell short to Flipside Tactics in the last big LAN. Of course, you got the winner of this moving on to face Cloud9, and that's going to be a huge, huge game to start off the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Is this DreamHack or is this North American Regionals at this point?
All right, this is good. You could confuse this for the NA Regional Playoffs on another day. This was the period of relentless pressure from NRG. That pass from Fireburner was all they needed. Just a little bit of unpredictability. They got the lead.
I love the fact that he actually lined up his car as if he was going to take the shot. As a defender, you've got to try and shut that down that line. And the very last moment, repositioned his car to put it straight down to Justin. But right now, whilst we're seeing good gameplay out from NRG and their offense is looking pretty crisp, G2 looks standard at the moment. And when we start getting to the later stages of this tournament, standard's not good enough. You've got to get to step up even higher.
They just didn't have that finishing touch in the first game. They need to make that shot happen if they want to get a win here. And they really could use a win. I mean, G2 have had a lot of 3-2 reverse sweeps in their favor in the past, so we're not going to write them off anytime soon. But when you're up against NRG, you don't want to give them a big lead. These guys are some of the best in the world. Rizzo, the save on Justin's attempted shot. It's NRG with a strong start yet again.
G2 going to be looking for a much better start than they got last time. Thunderstorm was 2 goals down before they even really knew it. JNaps turning himself around. Got no real options over there. That's going to be effectively taking himself out for almost nothing on the side of NRG. You have to be so careful when you go for these long plays, especially when you're taking yourself up to the air, because if you're not landing on a wall, your recovery is going to be so much slower. And you're effectively taking yourself out of the play merely to give the ball back to your opponents.
Yeah, like you say, landing on those side walls and back walls when you're flying high into the air is such a key element of recovery. Chicago actually with an open shot here. It's gone off the post yet again. G2 not able to test NRG's goalkeeping in game 2 either. Whole minute gone. G2 still creating chances, but can they hit the target?
At this point, I think they're just being a little bit too cute with their shooting. Just test the goalkeeper at this point and then figure out where you can go from there. Rizzo takes it long. And it's taken away by JNaps. And everyone from NRG has already sat back. I don't know if that really forced or prompted any sort of movement from NRG. Now put up high, Justin. He sat around waiting for his opportunity. And he's doing this one backwards for some reason.
Yeah, Justin decides to just go backwards at this one instead of half flipping into position on the wall. Rizzo's playing cleanup right now for G2. They seem to be letting Chicago loose a little bit more at the start of this game. As of yet, hasn't been too effective as they're getting tackled by the ceiling. It's a pretty hard surface to get by, just like most of the surfaces in the Rocket League field.
All of them seem to be pretty rock solid.
You'd think so, but maybe that's just what they want you to think.
Maybe you're just not hitting it hard enough.
Rocket League conspiracy theories. Crossbar to the rescue for G2. Looks like they had a bit of the goal covered regardless, but both teams are really scared to shoot this ball near goalkeepers, which is fair enough. You don't want to be giving the ball to a goalie. Now Rizzo, how can he do? Spiraling into a rebound, but he will put it wide of the target. NRG still relatively untested on the goal line.
If we're looking towards players to watch in this series, Rizzo's actually my player to look at. Recently, he's been taking a much more offensive role. Here comes forward. JNaps open there to score on. And there we go at long last. G2 have found their way to the back of the net.
And this time, the post is perfectly fine. Chicago's got backup, so hitting that near post will be a successful play. 1-0 G2, and you know, they've seen a bit of a turn of the tide here. NRG came really, really quickly into game 1, got G2 off guard, but now G2 have managed to equalize the race, and they're looking very, very deliberate with their passing plays. They have had no shortage of opportunities in the last 5 or 6 minutes of gameplay.
You do actually have to question NRG moving into this game 2. They realize they must have seen that G2 was struggling in game number 2 or game number 1, and they just stepped back a little bit. You don't expect when a team is struggling against you that you want to really put your foot down on the gas and take the game to them and force even more mistakes.
Yeah, NRG have not had the best team play so far. Although the mechanics and the speed and the recoveries are all still there, as they often are. Just can't make their touches count as much. Oh my goodness, the touch by Fireburner was just enough. JNaps was so close to getting that on target. It's the same story for G2 though, the post to the rescue for their opponents.
NRG trying to find their way through, but Rizzo could potentially break. Instead, he is bumped by Garrett. He's still trying to just chase after Garrett G. Those two having a bit of a quarrel on their way down to the other side of the field. Fireburner, no one really to aim for over there. Instead, it's going to be Rizzo's to clear. He didn't do a great job of it. He's going to invite NRG forward. JNaps forced to come in and do a little bit of cleanup duty. And that's going to be a huge miss from Garrett G. Was he bumped on the way on?
Looks like he was bumped. I think I heard somebody making contact with him. Either way, NRG counter-attack. Fireburner can't get it past Rizzo. Rizzo's having a nice game in defense here. He's making a very successful contribution to G2. Justin going solo, but he had options there. Maybe, just maybe the pass across field was the better choice in that position. He decided against it. I mean, Justin's pretty good at solo plays, but this time it didn't work. Now Garrett with the solo play attempt, but Rizzo is there. It's getting away once again.
And this is the sort of style of play that Rizzo is going to really thrive in, where it's position-based, where he's now allowed to try and display some of that rocket IQ he has. And he's doing exactly that as the time ticks away. NRG looking somewhat flat in game 2. And it looks like that's their final chance. We are now tied at 1 game apiece.
Clutch demo there just to secure the game. Make sure that G2, or rather NRG, can't make the 0-second ball carry. Yeah, it is G2. Still not looking 100% convincing offensively, but they're making more chances. When you create that much more chances, or that many more chances than your opponents, it's very likely that you're going to win the game. And they have won this one. They've tied up the series. Worrying signs for NRG. It does not look like they are all there as a team. Going for a lot of solo plays. And of course, they love a solo play every now and then, but the team play has to be there as well if they're going to make it through a G2 roster who are playing this well with the brand new signing Chicago.
Yeah, G2 very happy to play from their own defensive line and then quickly counter away. As NRG just, like I said, not as crisp as we'd usually like to see them. They are taking a lot of the time to take the ball downfield rather than trying to pass the ball around, which has usually been their specialty, just to try and dissect their opponent's defense. And they need to be talking to one another right now about how they're going to improve heading forward.
And you see that Garrett's sitting so far forward there. It's interesting to see how the different ways that pros sit next to their monitor. Some of them lean all the way in. I think Ferna might be the closest, but others are a bit more laid back.
I think Bluey might be the furthest away.
Yeah.
He's on the floor, the poor lad.
Game 3, NRG look to rebound, but it's G2 with the first chance. Crossbar to the rescue for NRG, not for the first time. And this time G2 did not have somebody immediately following up.
It's going to be fired by a lovely little fake there. Put himself forward to do a challenge and instead just a nice little dainty touch. To push it straight back down. NRG pushing themselves forward. Here we go. Justin takes it the whole way.
Justin!
And there is the spark you wanted to see from NRG.
Wow, he takes off a great rate of knots and then gets one last touch, putting the ball sideways. Look at that for 1-all. Or 1-0 rather. Yeah, the series score is 1-all for anybody just tuning in. G2 were able to win the last game. What a play though by Justin. I mean, I have to say I like solo play every now and then. Now here comes the team play. It's Garrett to Justin. Just brute force across the box.
And it looks like the Kings of the North have reawoken. NRG back to what we know that they can do. Yes, it's good to do a little bit of individual play, but you've got to have that support up with you so that when you get the success from it, you can do something, and there's going to be Chicago levering that one off the side.
Justin's got another chance here on the solo play. Garrett running interference. Wow. What a play by JNaps. Both avoiding the one player trying to demo him and getting the save. NRG are starting to make some stops of their own, though. It looks like it's going to be a tough game for G2.
They put JNaps for an agility course next time. That was incredible.
I mean, it looked like he was going to be second best. I mean, it's tough to stop Justin's dribbling play from that range. Never mind when someone else is trying to demo you. He's done it well. Now JNaps will score. No one is there for NRG. And finally, G2 hit the back of the net the first time they tried.
That is huge from Rizzo as well. Took out 2 players to set up his teammate. And it was just levered at the net by JNaps. That is huge that they can get that goal back nice and quickly. Just over 1:15 has now been played, and G2 only 1 goal down. Garrett G would like to try and change that as quickly as he possibly can. Almost dropped it straight into the middle.
He's looking to air dribble that into the back wall, then pinch it down into the center. Sort of how we got the setup for their second goal this game. Wow, out of nowhere, Garrett G is going to get another one. for NRG. Where was the challenge for G2? There's just nobody moving up on this one.
I don't think they ever expected Garrett to be that far forward. It didn't quite make sense that he would be so close to the opposing wall as he took the shot, but Garrett accepted, all right, this is a tight angle shot, but he fought and he respected himself enough to think he could do it.
You really do need to challenge those if you're G2 though, of course.
I mean, you got to respect everyone on NRG shooting. You've got to be up there for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, Garrett wasn't even the last man forward for his team. They had backup. Fireburner was all the way back in defense, or the halfway line, ready to mop up anything that went wrong. JNAPS shut down by that man Fireburner. Looks like Rizzo's going to take up defensive role yet again. Tries to land on this one. Actually over the top of Justin's shot for JNAPS, but this one they're a lot more tame than the one earlier. It's all kind of slowed down a bit now in the third game.
Yeah, that's exactly what will suit NRG at this moment in time. JNAPS can't get too much going on there. Rizzo keeping the play up, but it's only for his opponent.
Double.
Here's Justin for the double tap. Ends up missing. Doesn't matter. Fire benefits to the far side. Chicago was just on time.
It's a fantastic save. Flip reset attempt for JNAPS. He hits it too high. Oh my goodness. JNAPS caught that one clean. That's so unfortunate. He's hit the ball too well.
Justin all the way back up. It's going to be immediately taken away by Chicago. NRG with their 2-goal lead. Happy to see us heading in towards the latter stages of this game. And it's going to go in though, and that's out of nowhere.
What happened on the NRG goal line? Got a feeling somebody was caught backwards here. It's Fireburner.
I think Fireburner
he's just gone back for boost perhaps. Either way, another long shot goes in. Both teams having a little bit of comedy in defense. But
I don't think we've ever been caught by surprise by so many goals in a single game.
Well, definitely not an NRG G2 series. These guys are usually so clean, but they're bringing out misplays from each other. These are definitely forced errors. Goal lead for NRG. G2, the team in attack, and it's a pass down to Chicago. He's hit the bar again. Bump onto the only NRG defender. JNAPS equalizes. It's absolute chaos at the back.
You know, I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt.
Goodness.
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Chicago, he saw JNAPS was on a hat trick. Why would you take away a hat trick from someone? It was a beautiful pass off the crossbar. Yes, maybe the game's close. Maybe there's a lot of money on the line, Johnny. But sometimes you just got to be a good person to your teammate.
Sometimes you have to absolutely clatter. I think it was Garrett G just flew off the frame faster than the ball usually would. It's all tied up here. Series is level. NRG had a 2-goal lead, but that is long gone. G2 have found a way back in. Bit of unconventional route, but they got there.
Chicago going to try and take it. We are now somehow, some way, all square at 3 goals apiece. That might not last too much longer. G2 really struggling to set up their defensive rotation. Being all up in each other's ways. That could be dropping down quite dangerously, but Rizzo reads that one really well. And now we are going to transition to the other side of the field.
G2 still creating plenty of opportunities. It's that infield pass. It was a bit of a problem for NRG yesterday against Tainted Minds. G2 finding success with it as well.
So they're going to want to try and keep away from themselves. That's going to be bouncing off the side. Rizzo with the opportunity to try and break. He's not got much boost on himself, but that boost in the corner is also going to turn itself up. That means he might be able to stick around for a little while longer. Chicago, as you can see, is on the far side. He's not going to be able to do too much more of this. NRG able to just hold the ball close to the wall.
It's 30 seconds left, all to play for in game 3. Looks like we're set for the long haul against in the NRG G2 matchup. Both teams just waiting for the other to misplay. G2 are the team that are passing more between the two, though.
And so we missed there. JNAPS might be the creator of the last opportunity of this game. NRG looking to transition. Rizzo can't quite keep that one moving, and there's no way NRG are going to try and transition from that one. They'll happily see overtime.
Overtime it is. Looks like both teams in mirrored kickoffs. Garrett first up on the play. Decides not to go off the ceiling for this one. He's trying to just hit it into the back wall. But G2 will escape without conceding for the time being.
Garrett was almost capable of stealing both boosts. There's JNAPS over to Chicago, who's pretty much got nothing. He's still done well with this off the backboard. A little bit more accuracy, and we could have seen game 3 heading over to G2.
It's well played by Chicago, though. He had to stretch out for it. Oh no, he's just ran straight into JNAPs here though. Bit unfortunate for G2. Rizzo's up as the third man and he slams it in. The aggression by Rizzo. He just saw both of his teammates in front of him and he doesn't care. He puts it home.
And just like against Tainted Minds, it's that infield pass that NRG just seem to struggle with. I'm just trying to figure out why at this point. Most of the teams that we've seen, I mean, we saw Chaussette earlier on, that was his primary focus. He had laser vision on those infield passes, but NRG, again caught.
They're ready for long shots, they're ready for back wall plays. The infield pass does sometimes catch them out because they prefer to face themselves away from the play and try and play reactive defense. They don't have somebody facing forward ready to attack that ball when it does bounce into the middle. Really though, NRG are going to be kicking themselves for losing this game. This was a 2-goal lead. And then suddenly they end up losing long shot here. It looks like Fireburner was out of boost. And later on, they lost another goal to a bit of a chaotic position in the defense. Yo, what? Magic from Rizzo there. How does he do it? Need to get an instant replay of that one, actually.
Incredible.
And it looks like NRG have got no response to that. The Magic 1v1 does go strongly in favor of G2.
Now we're going to be off to Neo Tokyo for our next match. G2, they just won the swing. Now can they finish this off and book their place in the next round, tomorrow's playoffs against Cloud9.
I just can't believe how hot and cold NRG look. They've looked so good. And they've done it again. They just come out the gate, look phenomenal. They make it look so easy to score. Justin with a perfect positioning here. That's a fantastic aerial shot as well. 1-0 NRG. Just wonder if they can make this spree last a bit longer, long enough at least, to win another game.
Here we go with Chicago, looking to try and create something of his own, but instead Rizzo moving forward. Goal is in, and Rizzo performing magic on the field.
What a fake by Chicago. The advantage here is, of course, he can call that very early. He knows he's missing that aerial. NRG do not. And again, they're facing away. They're never ready to drive forward and attack the ball when it does come across the middle like that. I think it's time for NRG to start staring straight at G2. When they're coming forward, Fireburner's got the ball pretty far forward here, but he's run out of space. It's so interesting though, NRG are such a polarizing team today. So good 1 minute, and then the next, they're nowhere to be seen.
They're looking to try and be getting into this one again. That's off the crossbar, and it ricochets off JNAPs. And now we're gonna move to the other side of the field. Rizzo winning yet another challenge. He's having a great series for himself at the moment. Rizzo looking for the redirect. That's still gonna be dangerous. Off the backboard, here's JNAPs, that's taken away by Justin. Justin pulling a lot of the heavy leg work at the moment.
Yeah, Justin, I'm pretty sure he knew that one was going to hit the crossbar, so he's just waiting to see if he can draw in a G2 player, which he did. Side to side, Garrett and Rizzo. Rizzo ran out of boost though, so he's going to have to turn right. He does take out Fireburner with a dodge. All tied up in game 4. G2 still the team who look a bit more threatening in offense. I mean, from what we've seen so far today though, NRG could just pull something out of nothing.
Yeah, both of these teams have sometimes scored blink and you'll miss it goals. And both these teams also, it's a case of good offense, really shaky defense that we've seen from both sides. A couple of very questionable touches so far. It's going to be an opportunity though for NRG to try and break, but maybe not if JNAPs is doing small annoying touches like that can potentially throw off your rhythm.
It's a really useful touch that from JNAPs. He's just wasted a bit of time and put the ball in a safer location. He didn't want to let it bounce on the ground in the middle of the field. He knew Gary G would go for a hard clear.
For those of you watching at home as well, it's not just what JNAPs is doing on our camera, but you've got to figure out and remember that gives more time for Chicago and Rizzo behind him to really grab themselves. It means that you should never really get caught by NRG in those situations. Now off the backboard, they might get caught here. Here's Garrett G, he levels it, and he put it off the crossbar, and it finally sneaks in. That was a real bouncy ball there off the crossbar to the floor.
A trail of destruction. G2 left in smithereens. Justin was there to support. He was just cheerleading that ball across the line. He says, come on, you can do it. I'm not going to help you, but eventually they do get the goal. NRG back in front, looking to tie up this series.
I think everyone, when they saw that one bouncing, just has flashbacks to ranked, where that never goes in.
Oh, it doesn't
You always
go in,
hit it,
right.
and it always just bounces and eventually gets cleared.
Not before 4 people miss the ball.
I don't know what rank you're playing at right now, Johnny.
Oh, there's a nice goal from Garrett G. Passing play infield from NRG this time. Fireburner able to prey on a bit of a weak touch from Chicago.
Yeah, this is so dangerous whenever you play out like that. You've got to keep an eye on if there's anyone on the wall. Because the immediate reaction is just going to be to pop it back into the middle of the field. And NRG did exactly that. And it's gone from being a very tight game that G2 looked more likely to win to NRG having a 2-goal lead. And you'd be shocked if they went on to lose.
This would be another surprising one. NRG are usually so tough to get goals past. Certainly in quick succession. 2 minutes for G2 to do just that. They're going very direct now though. The passing plays are settling down for the time being. Rizzo does get it past one. J-Naps able to get on the end of it, but also an NRG defender standing straight in his way. Double touch for Rizzo. Had to go down for that one, but the backboard is usually pretty well defended for NRG. We talked about this in the last game. It's sort of why they're so vulnerable to the infield pass. It's because they defend the backboard so heavily. Will G2 realize this?
Justin, Duke and Jives maybe set up. And Garrett G has to just win that challenge to take a player out and preserve that 2-goal lead that they currently have. G2 just throwing whatever they can together and see if it can hopefully stick for them.
NRG are wasting all the time here. The high ball is always going to favor the Briz, who just gets that one wide of his own net. Justin has some time to drop it down to Fireburn. It looks like nobody's got boost on the goal line for G2, but there's Chicago to run across. Make sure that goes clear. Justin slams it straight into Rizzo, and Garrett is going to follow up. 4-1 NRG. And this one looks like it might be a close book.
Yeah, I love this from NRG. They've just taken the ball into the air. If we get an opportunity, yeah, that's cool. The main player is just to waste some time to clock and waste the boost on G2, and they've got another goal for themselves. 3-goal lead, less than a minute remaining. And game 5 looks like the most likely option. As G2 looks to try and find some answers.
I do think they need to focus more on NRG's weaknesses. Fireburner trying to put in a 5th goal. It's saved this time by G2. Yeah, the backboard has been pretty well defended for NRG. You'll still have the long shots for the most part. A couple have trickled in.
You can even see it with the way they position on the way back. There's one person on the goal line, and there's one person facing towards the backboard entirely. They're not on it just yet, but the option is there just in case.
And it's that line of play that we were talking about before. They're facing away. It gives them a great chance to run on and intercept backboard plays, long shots. Any pass that goes across the goal, but if it just goes directly into the middle, they're not ready to turn and challenge it. I think that's what G2 need to do better in the next game. Not going to complain that it's gone to game 5 though. I'm sure everybody's going to be pretty excited. We've got another 5-game series between G2 and NRG. And what an interesting one it is.
Well, this is the most stacked Rocket League tournament in history. So another game 5, well, it almost just seems it almost seems expected at this point, because we have just expected quality game after quality game, and it's what we're getting here. Both these teams know exactly what they need to pull off, and they're going to try and take game 5. If you're G2 right now, we're looking towards them just to, pull it back a little bit. Don't try and speed the ball down there. Don't go through any more long clears. Take control, take players out, and then offload when you get a weak clear from NRG. But from NRG, what are we looking for?
I mean, NRG need to just keep it in those demos. There's a double demo. Poor Chicago's left all on his own in a 3v1. I mean, for NRG, they just need to keep on going like they play in the first minute of most of these games. They start off so strong. They're playing with such confidence, and then it seems like they fall off a little bit and allow G2 to come back. If they can just keep up what they're doing at the start of a game, play with that same kind of carefree attitude, I think it's going to suit them very well. It definitely suits Justin in particular.
I mean, you do look at the players on this team, and yes, all of them do perform a variety of roles. But if you were to say, take this ball into the air, who is going to be the more likely to win? You'd pretty much always give it to NRG. If you would say ground-based game, you'd probably give it over to G2. So it's all about who can implement and where this ball ends up getting played.
Who will expose the other team's weaknesses? Game 5 seems like a good rite of passage for day 3. It's going to come down a lot to the mental game now as well. It's been quite a weird series so far.
It's been a weird series because both these teams both know how to unlock the other opponent. That's going to be a huge miss. Fireburner will not score too many easier than that.
And Rizzo looks like he's not too happy about this one. Himself and JNaps are just looking over to the side. There may have been an issue there, but as it stands, 1-0 NRG. Rizzo is not able to make contact with the ball. Justin is going to try and add insult to injury. Saved by Rizzo this time.
Yeah, if you're NRG at this point, you take advantage of this and you just pile forward. Try and find that second one. Justin can follow this one up. It's going to be a difficult one to read, though. Always hard to read when it bounces off that part of the wall. So far, we've yet to see G2 on the other side of the field. Now we finally will do. JNaps over to Rizzo. It just wasn't direct enough as a pass. That meant Rizzo just couldn't do too much with it. Now it's an open net. Just about JNaps gets himself back to scoop it out.
JNaps was just hiding behind the ball there. He had the save on pretty much all angles. It's well positioned by him. I think we are going to have a pause here. Rizzo is not happy with what happened for the first goal, so it looks like the admin are going to go and talk to him, ask what happened. We'll have that sorted for you guys in just a few minutes. We'll let you know as soon as we do. Looks like it might be a sound issue here. Yeah, NRG 1-0. It looked like a pretty good shot for the first goal, and you know, Rizzo was active. We saw the disconnect earlier on with Flakes, and it was quite a stationary, obvious disconnect. His car wasn't moving. There, G2 did have full motion, so not sure if this pause has anything to do with the goal just yet. We'll have to wait and see. But we shouldn't be too long with this one. NRG are going to have to try and focus and see if they can continue this momentum. I mean, this is a pretty good way to stop the NRG momentum that they've been struggling to maintain for the series so far.
I mean, there are no rules in place, I believe, against talking in this situation. We saw earlier on, we saw complexity. Like, they were strategizing about what their next move was going to be. With that being said, it was all about that one crucial kickoff that they needed to try and come through and work on. But right now, the series that we've looked at as a whole, we've had times where these teams have looked really solid. We've had times where they looked really weak, and that's all down to the fact that these two teams have played against each other so much that when they implement the game style that they have implemented for purely that team, it does make the opponent look weaker, because that's what it's supposed to do.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are going to be moments when you play against teams like G2 and NRG where you look a bit stupid, where you try and make a save and the shot's just too good and you can't reach it and your car's flopping around and the ball goes in the net. That's likely to happen. The admin are just going to inform NRG what's happening here. Well, it looks like the game is going to be restarted for after the first goal. The goal was unaffected by the technical difficulty. G2 have had it fixed. Looks like the play after that may have been affected. Looks like they might have had a sound issue or something like that. But we're resetting to right after the first goal was scored. They're going to pick the game up at that kickoff.
So it means we've got plenty of time left on the clock. NRG and G2 Esports, the winner of this game, heads on through to the playoffs and will be taking on Cloud9 in the very first round of tomorrow's single elimination playoffs. The team that loses, well, not exactly all doom and gloom just yet. You head down to the lower bracket and we'll be playing later on today. But looking at the shark-infested waters down there, you certainly don't want to be doing that.
Well, you don't want to be there. This is such an important game. Although it's funny because Cloud9 did lose earlier on today to Savage. Now, G2 and NRG are in a bit of an interesting spot because they would have probably expected to not meet, if they go through without losing here, they would expect to maybe run into Cloud9 in the semis or the grand final, not in the quarter final as a winning team. So I don't expect them to be considering that option at all, of getting rid of this match.
Would never dare.
Just to go down into the lower bracket, because the format here does mean that whoever loses this has one more life. And in a stacked tournament like this, you don't want to go to the lower bracket at all. Here we go. We are going to reset at this kickoff. We're all fixed up on stage, G2. Look like they're happy. And it's just going to go straight back to Justin. I feel like I've seen this before. Justin with the air dribble will get saved by Rizzo.
Chicago puts it out long. Rizzo is an option over there, and he's going to immediately respond. G2 are back in it.
Well, the pass here by Chicago to Rizzo, who's already making the run down the line. And the placement was exactly what they needed.
That is absolutely perfect placement for that pass. But even better is G2 actually giving themselves the option to do it. It's been a sticking point for them for so very long, where they usually just rotate back as quickly as they possibly can. They don't usually trust themselves to sustain offense for a little while where they can get those passing plays going. This time around, they did exactly that, and they reaped the rewards.
Rizzo's just falling down on top of the ball here to keep it out of the net. It's only gone as far as Justin, not able to execute his flick as he wanted to. Fireburner only gets as far as JNaps, who are in the midfield. NRG, everything that they were able to do to build that lead for themselves, gone in just a matter of seconds after the restart here. They're gonna have to start all over again. Justin with a nice save overhead.
And we're seeing some boost steals as well coming out from G2. One on the far left is also gone, and they're gonna try and steal some of the middle, but instead Chicago left it. Fireburner, keep things going, but starting to see some savage-esque plays coming out. The 2v3 rotation can easily get caught out, because if you're not the player that gets demoed on NRG, you've now got to change everything that you were planning to do to try and cover for your teammate. So now Fireburner wins the challenge, and Justin doesn't want to power it against the wall, instead chooses to play the long game, steal a little bit of boost.
I like that from Justin. He's just faked a challenge to trick the G2 player to hit it into his path. And that is going to lead to an extended period of NRG pressure. So many saves for G2, though. The bodies are stacked up on the goal line. Backboard's looking very open, though. And it is going to go up high to Fireburner, who drills it down. Fireburner's been a monster in defense, and now puts NRG back in front.
And it's such an unorthodox pass that we see from Garrett. It's always rising by the time Garrett is getting over to it. What a crucial hit that is. And NRG have re-established their 1-goal lead. G2, it's time to start reaching deep into the bag of tricks. They look to try and keep this going, and Rizzo, he might have a trick up his sleeve off the backboard. Chicago looking for a setup that should be cleaned up, and it is by Justin.
So yeah, you're right, G2 hardly going to try and go about this. The infield pass does connect, but it's a bit further out this time. Shots from that range are not likely to go past NRG. G2 still have half the game to go. Trying to create something, Chicago muscling it in there. The third man for G2 can't commit on that. I mean, there's so long left in the game. You don't expect them to play that aggressively just yet.
Chicago pushing it, trying to find the top corner. Justin had it read the entire way. Shinap still with the pressure. Well played again. Justin is just monstrous on the backboard. Say what we will, but they may be overutilizing it, but they're doing so well with it. And now Garrett G winning every single challenge, taking the ball to the other side of the field.
I love how far up the field NRG are challenging the ball. They're forcing the G2's passing plays to happen earlier, further away from their goal, and that means that the shots are so far away, there's enough time to react to them. Bringing the game to G2, not allowing G2 the space that G2 so desperately need to make these passing plays work.
Now Justin again, he's finding a lot of these 100 boost canisters, and we know how dangerous he can be in the air. G2 might need to try and hold their way. There's another one on top of him. JNaps tries to force a challenge. Garrett G will easily see that one away. He also went for another challenge, but this time he is beat. Still 2-1, G2 on the prowl, looking for their opportunity.
It's well saved though again. All three members of NRG putting in some hard work. They're looking like a real team all of a sudden. It's taken a while for them to show up as a unit, but just in the nick of time, they're all here and making this extremely difficult for their opponents.
Off the back, JNaps. He hasn't got the boost to try for that one. As much as he may very well want to. Time still ticking away, 40 seconds left. Still 1 goal is the difference. Here's JNaps off the backboard. It's not the target zone you want to go for at this moment in time. And now everyone is back for NRG.
Same as ever. Backboard and goal, both defended for NRG. And that tricky play by Fireburner as the ball trickles underneath the last defender. He's not got just one touch here. He double touches it underneath JNaps. And Garrett G's first on the scene. Chicago can't get there in time. 2-goal lead for NRG. 24 seconds for G2.
And they're going to have to respond almost immediately from the kickoff. They've at least won it, but when it trickles up the wall like that, it can be very hard to not only read where the ball's going, but to set something up immediately afterwards. And we did see of how that was played. Chicago looking for the fast side, and that is a well-saved shot from Garrett G. G2 putting everything forward. J-Naps, yes, it's a double tap, but this is still a lot of time wasted just to go for it. Rizzo, for it down again, and now that will be game. NRG have put their place in the next round, and we are going to be seeing them against Cloud9.
What a matchup to look forward to. Two monstrous teams from North America just played on stage, and now we can look forward to another top-tier NA matchup tomorrow in the quarterfinals, NRG versus Cloud9. G2 are not done just yet. We will see them later on stream as they play out their lower bracket final game. And if they win that, they'll move on to tomorrow as well.
Well-played series by both these teams, but this time around it was NRG that came out the better. And that was the sort of series that you see and only see between two teams that have played against each other that often, where you get to the point of, okay, we're not trying to outdo you at Rocket League now because we know exactly how we're pretty even when we just play Rocket League. We're now doing the small changes that we've done after all this time just to beat you.
Yeah, NRG also barely in time found some consistency. It took a while, but they did, I think, play their best game in Game 5 of the entire series. Before that, they had moments where they looked amazing, moments where they looked like the NRG that we all know and love, and then there was other moments where they're conceding goals left and right, missing easy saves, and not looking like a team at all.
Well, it certainly was not an easy series to get through, and I doubt it's going to be an easy series to dissect, so Desk, I wish you all the best.
Here at the DreamHack Pro Circuit, history does not repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. NRG finding themselves a way to get a victory over G2, but let's be real here, guys. It was back and forth throughout the entirety of those games.
And honestly, after Game 3, we're looking at this, it's like, oh, G2's got this easy. Like, G2 is just dominating on all facets of the field, but NRG bounces back.
Yeah, Fireburner did the things in Game 4 and 5. It was like, all right, why are they not being successful? Well, Fireburner decided to get 3 assists in Game 4, and it kept going into Game 5. He was involved in just about every goal after they started winning, but G2 early on, a lot of great pressure. The shot placement, just the problem. A lot of post, bailed him out of a couple of tough positions, and Justin, got to give credit to him later on in the series as well. I think he did the best job buying time so much for Garrett and Fireburner. He's like, I'm just going to hang on to the ball and not give it away. And great job by him buying extra time later on in the series.
When NRG's at their best, though, it's when Fireburner is just making people miss. It's not often, like, he normally is the one that's like, all right, Justin Garrett, you go ahead and do the offense. Game 5, though, Fireburner is doing aerial fakes into a dribble, and he's here now. What's going on with these aerials, just like destroying G2 in Game 5?
The aerial fake was kind of an accident. I just tried to go for a flip reset. I saw he was going up really fast, so I just tried to slow it down. I thought I might flip in them, but I just plopped down on the ball, and then the ball rolled in.
Hey, it works, right?
What were you guys doing, just out of curiosity, within that series to maybe mentally kind of keep intact here? Because it feels like momentum has been something a lot of teams have struggled for, and the fact that you guys, you know, going back and forth between the games, was there anything you guys relied on there for NRG?
Yeah, that's actually like one of the things we're trying to work on most. If you guys notice, like, whenever we start out really strong in a game, we usually win by like 3-4 goals, but it's kind of been hard for us to come back. But so far this tournament, we reverse swept Tainted Minds. We were down 2-1 in this series, so our mental composure, I think, has been improving a lot, and I think it's showing in the games.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And did you guys feel like you had kind of a bit of that slow start here versus G2 series? Because Garrett, yesterday versus Tainted Minds, he's like, well, we felt like we had a little bit of a slow start. Did you feel like you came in geared for this one, or did it take a little bit to get going here as well?
No, I think we were pretty warm. We just played our off-stream match right before playing. I just think G2 was playing really well today. Game 1 we won, but then they like adjusted really well, and then we bounced back in the last 2 games.
Yeah. So you recently picked up Chrome as a coach over the World Championship for Season 6, and then throughout all these lands. What does he bring to the table for you guys that helps you improve?
I just think it's that third-party like point of view, right? So there's only so much that we can see as players on the field, and having Chrome watching all of our scrims, looking at all of our weaknesses, telling us what we're doing wrong, really helps out a lot. And I think it's like a really big advantage to have a coach in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, is that only when it comes to some of the end game? Like, how much of that towards that mental reset button, I guess, does he have an impact on, or is that just really you know, the 3-man roster there?
Well, I mean, he can only do so much, right? Because when we're on stage, he can't talk to us. He can't do any of that. But yeah, he just harps on us, like, just stay positive. Don't put yourself down, and that's what we've been trying to do.
Awesome, man. Well, it seems like it's working out really, really well here for Fireburner and the rest of NRG there. We are going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, of course, we have some more Rocket League action underway.